I'm going to be giving you a breakdown of all the mistakes that I made on my live streaming channels, why they were mistakes, and what you can do to fix them so that if you're starting your live streaming journey, career, project, whatever you want to call it, if you're starting to live stream, here's 5 things that you should avoid so you don't end up like me and spending 6 months of wasted time without any growth and nobody watching you. So let's look back on all of my failures, like I do every night before I go to bed. Quick promo, I do stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday on Twitch. Hruzard_ is my username. Link is in the description if you want to come by, swing in, hang out, chat, remind me of how I messed things up. The first big mistake that I made when I started live streaming was streaming to multiple platforms. I used the service called restream.io to send my stream out to multiple platforms. For those of you wondering at home, those platforms were Twitch, Facebook Gaming, YouTube, DLive, Mixer, before it went belly up, and Facebook Gaming. Now, the logic with streaming to multiple platforms makes sense at a base level. If I stream to 6 different platforms, then I have 6 different opportunities to grow a channel, to build an audience, and have people find me. And once that audience starts to grow, let's say I start to get more followers and average viewers on Twitch, then I can hone in on Twitch and start to grow and drop the other ones off. That wasn't like a toilet joke. I mean, it could be if you want it to be. It's whatever. Art is subjective. And although the logic is there in practice, the issue was that I wasn't really spending any time inside of those communities. Now, if you're new to live streaming, if you've never watched in the past and you don't really know what it's about, or you're one of those people who is kind of like me that's like, I don't know why people watch people play video games all day. Do your research, which is, we'll talk about that in a second as well. But also know that there's different communities, different audience members, different content that is on all of those live streaming platforms. So if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how you fit into that community or why that specific audience would want to watch your stream and you're just throwing stuff at the wall, you're going to spend a lot of wasted time streaming a bunch with no direction and not being able to cultivate or build an audience. So although it makes sense in your head to sign up for Restream, throw your content on as many platforms as possible, just know by doing that, you are neglecting each one of those communities that you could be building. Which brings us to number 2. I didn't do my research. Now you might be saying, Ryan, I don't know why you talk like this. This is how you talk. You might be saying, Ryan, it's live streaming. Why do I have to do research? The research that I'm talking about is not going over facts and figures and stats and data. It's honestly as simple as just like watching some different streamers. When I say watching different streamers, I mean a bunch of different streamers. Don't just watch people who play a game that you like. Watch people who maybe remind you of yourself. Watch people who are doing some weird stuff on Twitch. Engage with their audience, with their chat, talk with them. Try to understand like how they started, what their audience members think, why the audience members in that person's chat watch their stream. Now, you don't have to copy streamers, which isn't like the worst thing that you could do if you start out and you aren't sure what you're doing. So you kind of emulate somebody that you enjoy watching. You could do far worse when you're starting. But what I mean is take some time to engage with the platform and the audience that you intend to cultivate for yourself. Because unless if you're like a huge YouTuber or you're a personality outside of Twitch, you are going to be vying for that audience. If that was too convoluted, because I think it was, I do that sometimes. I tend to ramble. So you're not going to be the person to bring new people over to Twitch. You're looking to engage with the people who already watch Twitch. Maybe you'll bring a few friends or family who hadn't checked out Twitch before, which is great. But for you, the audience members that you are going to be trying to get to watch your channel, follow you, and be a part of your community already exist. So go find them. When I talk about doing your research, that's what I mean. Find an audience that you think would engage with your content as well. So we'll talk about your content here in just a second. I got a pretty good segue. I'm cooking it up in my head right now. We'll see what happens. I focused on my design, not the content. Now I know that the temptation is hard to pull away from when you're scrolling through Nerd or Die or Owned.tv. No, they are not a sponsor of me. My channel is still too small. But you look through all those packs and you want to mix and match and you want to make your stream stand out because you're not getting viewers from just playing games. So maybe it'll help if you have a cool overlay or if you have a sweet cam border, or maybe you got like a cool sick stinger transition bruh, whatever it is, I thought that the design of my stream is what was most important. So my main focuses when I was off stream were not about how to make my stream more entertaining or more enjoyable. It was how to make it look better. Now think of that phrase really fast. How to make something look better. You're saying the word look better, not how to make something better. Now, this is a simple practice that I've done throughout my entire performing or creative career. I've always looked at things very critically, decided objectively how to make something better. Not necessarily like the aesthetic of it, but how to make it flow a little bit better, how to make it funnier, how to make it punch a little bit harder. I did none of that with my stream. The only thing I was concerned about was how do I make it look like it's really good. So the limited free time that I had during the week to make improvements to my stream was all spent on making it look flashier. And yes, it is nice that now the quality of my stream is very high because I spent so much time playing around with those things and wasting that much time on the design, the overlays, making sure my cam was good, making sure my sound was good. But with all that wasted time, I could have been spending more time thinking about what is my channel about? Why are people gonna watch my stream over the literally millions of streams that happen every month? So focus on your content. Are you gonna chat with your audience? Are you gonna talk about things that you find interesting? Maybe you're gonna have a stream where you put a chair together, or you build a PC, or you play a board game with a friend. Coming up with different ideas for content to make your stream stand out, rather than different ideas for design, is way better time spent, especially when you're first starting out and you're trying to create a channel. Because although somebody might pop in and say, hey man, your cam looks really dope. Hey man, I love the overlay. And my response is, oh, thanks dude. And I have nothing else going on than me being bad at Warzone or whatever game I thought would get me viewers at the time. They're gonna bounce. Focus on the content and build that up. The design will come later, which leads me to the next thing, because I've been trying to do segues this video. You guys, do you see it? Do you get it? Let me know in the comments if the segues were okay for you, or if it was more like I was Paul Blart. Was that a good joke? Number 4 on the list is being consistent. When I say being consistent, I don't necessarily mean streaming at the same time of day or streaming on the same days of the week. I mean being consistent with your content for at least a little while. Something that I did when I first started streaming, which I do a lot of the times, is if something doesn't work the first time I try it, then I completely change it the next time. That's not only a bad way to kind of approach life or learning in general, it's a terrible way to start a live stream channel. For a stretch there, about a month, almost every time I streamed, I would do something different. One day I would do a stream playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and I would roleplay as a character. The next stream, I would do a just chatting stream for 3 hours to nobody. And after that, I would look at things online. I would look at Amazon products and talk about how ridiculous the wording was for the marketing people who made those things. Now, the real issue with this came from if somebody had gone to my stream and maybe they watched my role-playing stream where I was playing Red Dead and they enjoyed it and they said, hey, I'm gonna check that guy out again. I liked his roleplay thing. And if they pop in there and I'm doing a stream where I'm writing a song with my chat, that was also something I did, they're gonna be like, hey, what's up? I thought that you were the roleplay guy. Leaving now. Now, that's not to say that you have to pigeonhole yourself into one thing on your stream, but when you're starting out, it is important to stick with something for a while. If you have 5 followers and you tried something and nobody watched it, you had 0 total views, don't change everything just yet. Know that you're new, know that you're still growing, that there aren't people popping into your stream. Once you get to the point where, like right now, completely candid, I have about 10 to 15 average viewers on any given month. So I'm not a huge channel. I've just been kind of slowly growing. But I have a reliable audience who will come to almost all of my streams. Not all of them will pop in, but there'll be a good chunk of them who have seen my stuff in the past. So it allows me now the opportunity to be a little bit more creative, to branch out, to try some different things, knowing that my core community and my core audience members will probably stick with it for at least one stream, and they'll probably come back after if it wasn't that good. But when I was first starting out, somebody popped into my chat, and if I didn't know what I was doing, or I wasn't being consistent, or I wasn't getting good at the thing I was trying to do, they'd bounce and never come back. So what I'm saying is, don't be like me. If you don't get the results that you want from your first ever live stream, don't clear everything away and start from scratch. Just work on getting better on that and just have fun streaming. If you aren't having fun streaming, quit streaming. So let's get on to the last thing on the list. Number 5, and the most important, don't focus on growth. I know that's kind of weird because Twitch seems to be all about growth, but I cannot tell you how many times when I did finally start to do my research and watch some smaller streamers, some mid-tier streamers, how much of their content was simply about you, an audience member, helping them, the streamer, grow. There was no other value there. If you are completely focused on your numbers, on growing your followers, your average viewers, on getting partner, the content that you're creating is only about that. It is completely possible to focus on the growth of your channel and create good content at the same time. If you're doing that, this is not for you. This section is for the people who were like me back in April, where the only thing that I cared about, literally the only thing that I looked at on my streams were how many people watched, what was my average viewership, how much closer am I to getting affiliate on Twitch? Those are the only 3 things that I judged the success or the failure of each stream. I didn't look at the content. I didn't look if I was engaging, if it looked like I was having fun, if I dropped frames. I only looked at the amount of new followers I got each stream, the amount of viewers I had, average viewership, and how much closer I was to affiliate. I'll probably say that a couple more times as I explain this because I tend to ramble. Now you're probably saying to yourself, hey Ryan, if I'm not focusing on the numbers, how many new followers I got, my average viewership, and all the people that watch my stream, what am I supposed to focus on? Focus on getting better. I wish that I would have focused on being a better streamer back in April because it would have gotten me to the point that I'm at now where I feel comfortable, confident, and I don't get shook on stream. I don't know why my voice did that. It's probably because that sentence was weird. Yeah, it's because that sentence was weird. So instead of spending a bunch of time going through your analytics and your data that Twitch pumps out to you with your stream summary after every stream, go back to your VOD. Watch it again. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Skip around. Find different parts. See if there's parts where you were just staring blankly into the camera, where you weren't being engaging. And I'm not saying that you have to talk the whole time, but were you invested in your stream the whole time? The best way to be critical of your work is to go back and watch it from the mindset of a viewer. So as you're watching it, ask yourself, if I was a viewer, a random person who clicked on this Twitch stream, would I have been interested for this 2-3 minute chunk, maybe even 15-30 seconds? Would I have wanted to keep watching? The more that you can do that and find where your actual stream and your content has deficits and has things that you can work on, the better your stream is going to be, and growth is just going to happen. Now you should obviously focus on the growth, absolutely, because why would you do it if you aren't going to get more followers? I totally get it. Pay attention to those things too, but try to ration it out. So right now, if you're spending 80% of your time when it comes to figuring out how to make your stream better on looking at the analytics and trying to go through all that data, flip that. Spend 80% of your time watching your content and figuring out why somebody might not watch it. Also spend time figuring out why people would watch it. A lot of the times when people are critical of their work, they only want to focus on the negative things, the reason why somebody wouldn't enjoy it. But trust me, give yourself those gifts of focusing in on why somebody would enjoy it or why people do watch it. Because it's not only going to make you feel better as a creative person, as a content creator, but it is also going to help you hone in on what is your niche. The TLDR of this portion of the video is go back through your content. Watch it again. I know maybe in the moment it felt like you were doing great, but I promise you, I went back through a bunch of my VODs finally after I was like, I should probably watch those back, see if I'm doing a good job with my stream. And I found out that I was doing an okay job, but there was definitely room for improvement that I wasn't noticing in the moment while I was streaming. So be critical of your work, but also take care of yourself. Know that you're just a person and you're learning, so don't be too hard on yourself, especially if this is a new medium for you, or if you've never performed before, you've never been in front of a camera. Know that it's going to take some time before you feel comfortable and before your stream is at the level you want it to be. So that's all the things on the list. It was 5. Because 5 was the limit. I put 5 on there and we've done 5 things. So that is going to lead to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be putting out more content like this. I'm also going to be doing some sketches, stuff like that. Go ahead and follow me on Twitch. Pop into my chat. I'd love to talk with you sometime. The links are in the description for that. And also, if you want to share maybe a mistake that you made when you started streaming, or something that you did when you started streaming that really helped you, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you on things that I can take for myself to make myself a better streamer. So I appreciate you watching this video. I hope that it was super helpful. If you have any questions, either put them in the comments, hit me up on Twitch. Until next time, nothing matters till you make it matter. So go make it matter. I have a VR headset. I spent most of my extra money buying toys and gadgets, but they're electronic, so they're for an adult. I am an adult. I have an action figure collection that is worth the same amount that it was worth when I purchased them. Maybe slightly less because I took them out of the box to pose them in cool positions because I'm an adult.